It's 8 minutes before 9 o'clock. This Dalai Lama issue has raised a number of questions that I think every parent, every adult, every responsible citizen ought to think about, particularly when it comes to protecting your children from would-be predators, from would-be groomers. It comes after, of course, the apology of the Dalai Lama after a video emerged showing the Tibetan spiritual leader kissing a child on the lips and really asking the child to be, shall we say, intimate with him, something he now says was in fact a joke. It really is the most creepy thing you will see today. Mara Glennie is the founder of the Tears Foundation and joins us now to just help us unpack a number of issues and what we should all as a society be thinking about, particularly when children are exposed to people we would normally think the world of. Mara, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good morning, everyone.
When we think about the Dalai Lama, this is a friend of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. This is somebody who has been a symbol of resistance, if you will, right? The small country of Tibet and its fight for independence against the behemoth that is China. I mean, he has stood for so much good, if you will. And then to see that video, what was your reaction? What was your impression?
Well, I'm shocked, I think, like the rest of the world. It was sexually inappropriate. And unfortunately, children can't tell what's appropriate and not appropriate. So it will cause a lot of difficulty with any child who sees the program.
One of the things I battled with, firstly, let's deal with this culture issue. There are suggestions that in some cultures in that part of the world, sticking your tongue out is a form of greeting, perhaps even a form of respect. Is that something you buy as an explanation?
I'm having great difficulty buying that. I think it was a sexually inappropriate action that wasn't thought through, and the consequences of it are diverse and many.
So my discomfort was, my goodness, if he could do this in the full glare of cameras, what might one do when the cameras are off?
It is a difficulty. However, as you correctly said, he is a spiritual leader, and we have seen him interact with the late Tutu, and they both behaved like silly children, in my view, and I think that maybe he was sexually inappropriate, but being a silly boy.
Here's the difficulty for many parents, and I alluded to this in my introduction, because of the reputation he has, because of the social standing, if you will, of the Tibetan spiritual leader, many parents and their children fall victim to predators and groomers precisely because we would never conceive of Uncle so-and-so or Bishop so-and-so or somebody in whom we hold in high regard being guilty of sexual predation. And I'm not suggesting this was, but there are parallels we can learn from.
Absolutely. I think that one should, first of all, remember that sexual violence of any sort happens in a society where the old-fashioned formula of stranger danger has long passed. Right now, and that only 6% of sexual attacks are made by perpetrators who are unknown. Every other one that's recorded is by someone you know. So within the environment of people you know, sexual grooming is taking place. So parents need to keep alert when their children are taught inappropriate sexual behaviors from role models and people they respect, be it the priest, the pastor, the teacher, the taxi driver. It can be from anyone.
Would you encourage people to err on the side of caution? I was saying earlier that I grew up in a culture in which you were expected to hug and kiss the adults with whom you interacted, be they uncles or aunties or friends of the family. That sort of thing no longer has room, given all the difficulties we are dealing with as far as the vulnerability of children, surely.
Well, absolutely. We need to teach children that their body is their domain. They don't have to kiss or touch someone they don't want to touch. And by forcing them to hug and kiss that auntie or uncle, you are removing their natural barriers. So we should encourage them to, if they have to shake hands, give a fist pump, or don't do anything. We need to respect their boundaries and teach them and affirm their boundaries. The minute that you say, kiss Uncle so-and-so, you are breaking that child's boundaries. You're teaching them one thing and acting out another thing.
What about those people who say, oh, come on, this is a bit of an overreaction. This was an innocent joke gone wrong. Perhaps he could have used his judgment a little differently, a little bit better, but don't make a bigger thing out of this than it actually is. What's your response to that?
Well, I would think that with the position that he has in many people's lives and in the world as the leader of a sect, one must understand that every action that you take is watched, every action that you take is copied, every action you take can affect your believers or followers' lives. So therefore it was inappropriate and should have been thought through. So I feel hurt and angry that he would do such a stupid thing.
Mara Glennie, the founder of the Tears Foundation.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.